everyone. Welcome to the EMS ISD Athletics Showcase. I'm Victoria Quintanilla. Last week we interviewed the volleyball program. We had Mrs. Barnes interview us, and it was a little bit weird being on the other side. And today I'm here with Mr. Griffin, the Assistant Athletic Director of the school district.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Tell me a little bit about your background and where you started off.
Well, I went to college to be a high school basketball coach, and my first job was at Joshua, Texas. I was assistant basketball coach for 2 years, and I became the head coach at Joshua for 3 years. I then moved to Carter Riverside High School in Fort Worth, where I was the head basketball coach for 4 years. Then I got into administration, being an assistant principal. Later, I came to Eagle Mountain Saginaw. I was the principal at Prairie Vista Middle School when we first opened it, and I was principal at Ballsville High School until I moved to the athletic department a few years ago. So I've only worked in 3 school districts. This is my 27th year. I've had a lot of opportunities to impact kids' lives in various ways. So that's what I'm doing now.
So you've been through a little bit of everything.
I think I probably have, from an assistant coach to a head coach to assistant principal to I'm a parent, to having lots of teachers under that I was responsible for, and now we have over 180 coaches that are in our athletic department. And so Coach Barker and myself feel very invested we want them all to be successful, because coaches are successful, kids are successful, and to give them the very best experience that they possibly can get.
So you oversee 5 middle schools. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, part of Coach Barker and I were responsible for the entire athletic program, and our middle schools are very, very important to the success of our high schools. And so one of the things with my middle school principal experience, I feel like I'm in touch with what goes on at middle schools, and with my coaching experience, that it's a good fit for me to kind of carve that piece of our athletic puzzle up, and me to work with those coordinators and coaches to implement the programs that the head coaches at the high schools want. Our head coordinators at each of the high schools are responsible for what they actually do, and my job is to go over and kind of be a liaison between what they're being asked to do, what they're doing, and be able to give them support.
Can you tell me how the tournaments are run throughout the district?
Our middle schools have the opportunity to play in 2 tournaments. Most of our schools will play an outside tournament. When I mean that, that means that schools other than our district of Springtown, Lake Worth, Irma Marsh, the Azle schools in R5, they might go to a Keller tournament or a Brewer tournament or a Northwest tournament, and they'll see outside competition. And then they all play in our district tournaments that we just recently held for volleyball. We moved that date this year to more in the middle of the season, and that's a 10-team tournament, and they're ranked as what the regular season record is at the point of the tournament. So if you're doing really, really well, you get a bye into the semifinals, have an easier route to the championship. If you're kind of having a so-so year, you'd play a play-in game and go from there. So all of our schools play in the North Texas Athletic League district tournament.
And before the show, you were telling me about the outside skill building. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, our district is committed to bringing quality skills clinics to our community. So many times kids have to leave EMS to go get trained in some other place. They might play soccer in Keller or soccer in Arlington. They might have to go to Southlake for personal training. There may not be basketball skills clinics in our area where they can just go after school, work for an hour and a half, and get home. As you know, we're kind of locked by some railroad tracks, a heavy dose of interstate that sometimes is hard to get to. So we've committed to bringing programs into our district. So we just recently wrapped up 2 soccer skills clinics that went on for 5 weeks, twice a week. A performance course for elementary school students that went for 5 weeks. We've had volleyball skills on Sunday evenings throughout the fall, and we're getting ready for a middle school performance course that will start next Monday at Wayside Middle School for all EMS 6th, 7th, and 8th grade athletes. We also have 7-on-7 that we have in the spring, and that was a big hit last year. We had over 22 teams participate in a 5-week football program. So we're committed to give parents the opportunity to have their kids trained locally with quality programs.
Is there anything else we can expect for this new school year?
Well, I think maybe just get better at our 6th grade PE program. Last year was the first year that a student would choose to be in a more athletic focused PE class. Many kids choose to be in what we call lifetime, which is what we would say is traditional PE. But many kids are already excited about wanting to try sports, and so our 6th grade PE program we began last year, and we're really trying to refine that to make sure that we're efficient with the time that we have, and the kids are excited about trying out for 7th grade. So I think we are probably spending this year just trying to get really good at what we're already doing and not try to over expand until we're ready for it.
Okay, that was Mr. Griffin, and when we get back, we'll have Mr. Griffin actually interview our 5 middle school coaches.
Welcome back to the EMS Athletic Showcase. I'm Steve Griffin, Assistant Athletic Director. With me today are our 5 girls coordinators from our middle schools. We have Andrea Smith from Prairie Vista, Kelly O'Hara from Wayside, BJ Kaiser from Wilkie, Tammy Sisk from the Creekview Colts, and Jennifer Thomas from the Highland Hawks. Welcome everybody to the show today.
Thanks for having us.
We're excited to have you guys here today as we're closing down our fall sports. We've had cross country, we've had volleyball. You guys are very integral in our 6th grade PE program, and I know you know a little bit about what's happening with tennis at your middle schools. So maybe we'll start with you, Andrea, and just kind of give us a rundown of what's going on at Prairie Vista, and maybe a few highlights from some of your teams.
Tennis is doing very well. I believe they are finishing up this first half of the season undefeated at the moment. I think going into the tournament this weekend, we had some success in cross country. 2 of our 7th graders, the 7th grade young boy, Andrew Zarita and Sydney Christopher, both placed first. And both set school records, so now their names are up on the board. They're very excited. The 7th grade boys placed first overall. I think the 7th grade girls were 3rd. And 8th graders we had bigger numbers than we've had in the past, so that was great to have some participation. Volleyball, we are learning, getting better. So too bad now that we're just picking it up and now the season's just about over, but that's okay. It's good for next year. The 8th graders have really come along and are finishing strong, and our 7th graders are getting the hang of it. So it's been a good fall. Everybody's worked hard, and we've seen some successes here and there. So
that's great.
Nice.
I know it was an emphasis from the district to improve our cross-country numbers, and I think across the board, all 5 middle schools were able to have more kids running cross-country this year. Coach O'Hara, a little bit about what's happening over there at Wayside.
We are doing some good things. Volleyball, 3 of our 4 teams went undefeated. Cross country, our numbers, grew significantly. Last year we didn't even have enough for 2 teams, and now we had all 4 teams compete. 2 of our teams got first place, 1 of our teams got 2nd, and the other one I think got 3rd or 4th. I'm not sure from our district for the cup standings is what I saw last. Tennis, Prairie Vista just beat us. We were undefeated, but they beat us 13-6, I think was the final. But they did very well going into the tournament, so they only have 1 loss.
That's great. BJ, what's happening with the Wilkie Badgers?
Cross country, our numbers doubled, girls and boys, so we were super excited about that. We have a lot of our soccer kids running cross country for us, so we're hoping that that'll help us cross country and soccer wise too. They improved at least a minute every time that they ran this year, so we were very excited about that. Volleyball, our 7th grade kids, they were very young. They hadn't played a lot outside of school, so they showed a lot of growth in the district tournament. Both 7A and 7B took consolation, so we were super excited about that. And then 8th grade, they started playing a little bit more outside of school, so we've seen them grow and succeed throughout the season. Kind of like Andrea said, we're finally getting where we're going pretty good, and then it's kind of winding down. So, but they've shown a lot of growth, a lot of improvement throughout the season. And then our tennis, we have a lot of young kids on our tennis team that are doing an amazing job, so we're super excited about them coming up.
If you don't know, folks, we have a 9-week volleyball season, 9-week football season, and so we've been these teams have been battling since first week of September, and we winded down this evening for volleyball. Coach Sis, Creekview's had some really good accomplishments this fall. What are some of them?
Yes, sir. Volleyball, I think we're in second place in district overall for the 8th grade A team. 7th grade B won the district tournament. Our other 3 teams were third in the district tournament. 7th grade C and 8th grade C placed second in our little C team tournament. Finish up tonight with Irma Marsh, so go fight win. And cross country, 7th grade girls were first place. We had 3 girls in the top 10. Our 8th grade girl, 8th grade girl won. I believe our 8th graders got 4th. 7th grade boys placed 6th, and our 8th grade boys placed, I think, 4th or 5th, somewhere around there. And tennis is doing really well. They've got 2 losses. They lost to Brewer and then to Prairie Vista as well. So.
A lot of folks may not know we have a lot of tennis programs going in the district. There's Friday Night Lights that happens at Chisholm Trail High School on Fridays. There's a youth beginner program that also is being conducted over through Chisholm Trail High School. So we really hope that some of our tennis will start really getting more and more kids involved and participating, and it'll pay off at the middle school and high school level. Well, Coach Thomas, what's happening out at Highland these days?
Well, our cross-country teams did really well this year. As everybody else's, our numbers pretty much doubled with all the participants coming in. 100% of all the kids improved their times at every meet that they went to. We had some top finishers in the district meet. Want to say thank you to the Saginaw cross-country program, who this year came down a lot to see our kids, and they awarded them each week with the runner of the week, and so the kids really liked that, and it gave them something to look forward to in a way for basically Saginaw to come and promote their program through it as well. So they did really well. Tennis is doing great right now. I don't know their record for sure, I'm not gonna lie, but I know they have been doing great. They were looking forward to playing against Prairie Vista, and it got rained out, so that's they're ready for that game, I guess. As far as volleyball is concerned, we've done pretty well. We're 8th grade A is in 4th right now in the district. We're right behind Springtown, and that's who we're playing tonight, so we'll see how we come out after that. Our 7th grade started out struggling in the beginning. Not a lot of strong servers. We did start out with underhand serves quite a bit, but the majority of all teams now have gotten it down, and they're serving overhand, and so their improvement has come a long way. As well as 8th grade B is doing great.
That's great. You know, as we think about middle school athletics and we think about what students can do and what parents can do to help their child be successful and ultimately their teams be successful, BJ, what would be some advice that you'd give to parents who had kids in the 5th, 6th, and 7th grade to get them ready for the competition that we see?
Definitely play. There's so many things that Eagle Mountain Saginaw is putting out now with camps or leagues or anything like that. I tell my kids every day, every flyer that we get, hey, take it home. Make sure that brothers and sisters get it, you know, all the way from, like you said, 1st and 2nd grade all the way up. But play. Make sure that you're doing something outside of the season. You can't just depend on in season to be as good as you want to be. You have to play outside.
Kelly, what would you say? What could you add?
The same. Play. The performance course is a great thing that we've added to our district for the kids to get some extra skills training, not sport specific, but just getting more athletic. Play. Get in the leagues. There's tons of skills clinics, and there's the new league that they've started in this Eagle Mountain Saginaw area that they can join. That's not per se like Tejas, where it's more expensive and stuff. They can at least just play.
We soon will be unveiling some volleyball opportunities for kids for the remainder of the year. We're going through a process right now of identifying what groups we want to work with, and that will work with us to provide volleyball enrichment, skill activities, and playing outside of school. So those opportunities will be coming for kids as low as the 3rd and 4th grade and all the way through middle school and even higher from there. So I know some of you have kids playing with different clubs or different groups within our district, and we'll even have more of that and be able to commit more resources to helping our kids get better. As we're thinking about a 6th grader, and we have high numbers in our 6th grade pre-athletics classes. Jennifer, what would you say is going on in sixth grade athletics? And what are we doing there to help them be ready to be a seventh grader?
Well, in our sixth grade pre-athletics program, basically what we're doing is we spend 3 days a week conditioning the kids, taking them into the weight room, working on their agilities, their speed, just trying to build them as a total athlete right now and get them to understand what it takes to become that. You can't just pick up a ball and expect to be able to do everything with it. So we spend 3 days in the fall working towards building the athlete, and we spend 2 days a week working on a skill. We're in a 3-week rotation of each sport that we offer, which gives us an opportunity to really get the kids to understand what it is what we're trying to get them to learn. As far as, like, for instance, now we've got basketball, so we've been able to really spend time on ball handling drills and dribbling, and then we'll go into a new sport for about 3 weeks, and we'll come back to it fairly quick and bring it right back into it, so that it's not they're doing it now and then they won't touch a basketball again until the end of the year. So this is really giving them a chance to use it down the line quicker. And then in the spring, what we'll do is we'll flip and we'll spend a little bit more time in the skill and take it down to 2 days as far as the workouts and conditionings are concerned.
Tammy, when you think about, you've got an outstanding sixth grade program going over there at Creekview. Each time I go over there, I feel like that I see kids hustling and ready to work and going from bell to bell. What do you think is making Creekview's sixth grade athletics program successful?
I think that us selling it, us being a part of it and playing with them or working out with them, I think that helps a lot. I think the kids have taken ownership in it because they think it's, hey, we got this horseshoe on our shirt and this is what we're about, and we're, this is, that's what we want to be when they see the kids in the athletics, So I think that us selling it has been a good help for them.
And Andrew, talk to us a little bit about your sixth grade athletic program, and last year we had some student testimonials about how students thought it worked for them. What are you hearing from kids this year about participating in sixth grade athletics?
They love it. It's their favorite class. They love coming to athletics every day. They love dressing out. They love being a part of something. We had to take a math test, a math screener one day in pre-athletics, and one of the boys coming in said, what are we doing this in pre-athletics for? It's my favorite class. This is the only reason I come to school every day. So they love being a part of it, and if they're looking forward to being in seventh grade. They love learning the skills. They love being in the weight room. They love the agilities. They're buying all of it. Even when we say go run around the track, some of them don't realize that, they ran one lap and they said that's the furthest they've ever run in their life. So, we got some work to do still, but they're getting the hang of it and they enjoy it, and they really are working hard. So.
Well, we'll wrap up with this last question, and really we'll think about the future of the remainder of this year, of what's happening at the middle schools. And so as we launch into basketball and later soccer and track and spring tennis, what do you expect to see out of Prairie Vista kids for the remainder of the year?
Excitement and improvement, because basketball is something that we do fairly well at most of the time. So I'm looking forward to that. The kids are excited about it. They really like it because, especially seventh grade basketball is a lot about hustle and getting out there. And so they really work hard at that, and they're very excited. Soccer's coming up. The soccer program is out there working every day. We've got bigger numbers in our soccer classes this year and in our tennis class. So we're looking forward to great things from them in the spring as well. And then we also have track coming up. So I know that they're going to work hard, and hopefully some of this building their speed we'll start to see some improvement in that for track season as well. So big things. We're excited.
Kick it over to Jennifer. What do you expect to see for the remainder of the year from the Hawks?
I'm pretty excited about track season. Just watching these girls in their everyday routines when we're doing running. There's a lot to look forward to, as well as in the sixth grade. I had a young lady in the sixth grade whose mom called me asking if she could be on the track team because she's already ranked as a high jumper. I was like, sure, I'd love that, but so really looking forward to track season. Basketball as well. The kids are excited. They're ready for something new. We've got a lot of basketball kids that didn't play volleyball, and so they're really, really ready to go. As far as soccer's concerned, it's looking good. It's looking good. They had a good program last year. They lost a few 8th graders, but the primary part of the team was the 7th graders, and so we're looking for a good season.
Tammy?
About the same. Our numbers have increased with soccer and with tennis as well. Our kiddos, like me, have kicked in the ADD. We're ready to go to basketball. We're looking forward to that. We've got some kiddos that have been asking for the last couple of weeks, when are basketball tryouts? We're like, got to finish volleyball first, then we'll go there. So, and track, 7th graders won the district last year, so hopefully we can repeat.
Coach Kaiser?
Basketball, we're ready. We are ready. We are usually pretty good at Wilkie as well in basketball, so we are super excited about basketball coming around. Our 7th grade group has a couple of kids that play outside of school as well, so I'm excited to see how they're going to do. We have a new soccer coach at Wilkie this year, and so a lot more kids have come out. They're running cross country. I think that will help them with soccer later on down the road, so I'm excited to see them. And track, we should be pretty good in track in the 7th grade. We've got some speed, but kind of like Jennifer, my 6th grade group looks really good in track, so I am very excited about going into our track unit and seeing quite a few of those, 4 or 5 of those run outside of school. So I am very excited about that. So,
Coach O'Hara, we'll give you the last word about looking forward for what's happening at Wayside.
Well, we would like to extend volleyball for 9 more weeks. So we're not ready for basketball. We're ready to get into basketball, but we are strong in volleyball, so we're sad to see that go. But we are going for the Middle School Cup this year. That is our goal. So challenge, ladies. So we're just really going to keep pushing hard to contend in basketball and to improve every single week and keep those points up. And then track, we should be pretty good this year. We did fairly well last year, so we'll see.
Well, we do have an internal competition called the Middle School Award for Excellence, and we've challenged all of our middle schools to, as always, give their very best effort and make sure that our teams are ready to go from there. Our defending champion is the Prairie Vista Coyotes, and our inaugural champion are the Highland Hawks. And I'd just like to say, each one of these coordinators have really great individual characteristics that make them very successful, but as a group, you 5 get a lot of work done. You have the best interests of your kids in mind, and you're very easy to work with from the athletic department. So I want to thank you guys for what you do individually at your campus and at what you're doing as a whole to make EMS middle school athletics the very best it can be. So that'll do it for us today. We'll see you next week with another show.